The entirety of my coursework is presented in the form of a blog on Blogger. I found that this method was highly useful in the organization of my work, and I was able to apply individual labels to posts, allowing me to efficiently sort my work as well as store it chronologically to show its development. I was able to present longer, more important posts such as my final coursework pieces and evaluations, alongside smaller posts like regular updates easily, as the blog's flowing structure allowed my entries to be shown clearly and in a very aesthetically pleasing way. Due to its multimedia functions, I was also able to showcase my finished trailer as well as its drafts and various other presentations and projects, along with basic text-based posts. Even more rough posts that are only a couple of lines long fit suitably with the rest of my work. I used the internet for a variety of reasons during all aspects of my work this academic year. Basic search engines like Google were paramount in my research in real-world text, as I was easily able to find a range of examples of posters, magazine covers, and trailers that were being hosted on YouTube. Through Google, I utilized very specific keyword searches to find finite examples of noir text that is quite a niche genre and is more difficult to research into than, for example, action films. By being able to use these detailed searches as well as Google's advanced filtering settings, I was then able to refine my searches even further, resulting in my research being carried out very practically and usefully. My media blog is hosted entirely online, on Blogger. Without the internet, I would not be able to present my work on the site or on other linked websites such as YouTube and Prezi. Without this vast array of websites, I would not be able to present any of my coursework or its evaluation, which shows their sheer importance and influence. Also, as is a media studies course, I would naturally be looking into the functions of the internet and modern technology, so being able to creatively use a range of sites to actually complete my coursework shows that I managed to harness the endless media-based opportunities the internet provides. Following on from the idea of feedback, I used the site SurveyMonkey to gain valuable insight into my target audience by creating and distributing a survey about their interests and film preferences. After collecting my results, which seemed to show that independent films aren't really part of mainstream culture within my target audience, and are only really appreciated by a relatively small amount of people, I was provided with an insight to alter the structure and narrative of my trailer to suit a larger audience, and therefore gain much more commercial success. I did this by incorporating elements of very popular film genres such as action and thriller, instead of relying solely on noir characteristics in order to attract fans of a much more popular styles of film worldwide. This highly positive development of my production shows the influence of not only SurveyMonkey, but of all the sites mentioned, which were instrumental to my group's success. My groupmates and I also frequently use the direct messaging function of social networking site Facebook to communicate outside of college. This is very useful in planning filming sessions and keeping track of the individual progress we were all making. It was also very effective when trying to gain feedback for practical work, as we could easily share work among each other and get their responses. Adobe Photoshop was the image manipulation software we used for the construction of our ancillary tasks, the film poster and the magazine cover. All three members of my group, including myself, have had a year prior at AS level to get used to the relatively basic functions of the software, such as cropping images and arranging text. We were able to further our abilities while creating pieces at A2 level. We often used YouTube tutorials to guide us on various functional techniques such as complex shadow and lighting effects, as well as flawlessly laying a large quantity of images, which in turn allowed us to eventually construct very effective and professional looking end products. To construct our teaser trailer, I used the video editing software Adobe Premiere Elements. In contrast to AS level, I did not receive a chance to get to grips with the software, but I have had experience in using more basic software such as Windows Live Movie Maker, which I used to create this video. This has helped me understand very simple functions such as cutting clips, transitions and exporting media, techniques I would use very commonly with my coursework. I also had a year of music technology at AS level under my belt, which was very useful when arranging the soundtrack and audio samples on Audacity, software I frequently use. This meant I could easily dissect and arrange audio with ease, as well as appropriately raise and lower the gain levels of clips to create an effective dynamic audio balance throughout my trailer. Finally, in terms of hardware, my group used a very basic flip camera for planning purposes and a much more complex and professional standard Canon 1100D SLR camera for our actual work. The flip cameras were very portable and had limited function, so we were able to take initial shots with ease. This also allowed us to come to terms with the more simple functions of our camera, such as being able to successfully take images or recording footage easily without becoming hindered by the more complicated SLR camera, which we moved on to after becoming very comfortable with the flip cam. It was vital that we became very skilled with a more complicated camera, as the majority of our coursework is photograph based, and we need a very high standard camera to achieve a suitable end result. This also allowed me to become acquainted with the much more sophisticated functions like adjusting exposure settings. Aside from cameras, all of our editing took place on a standard college Dell desktop computers equipped with a Windows 7 operating system, which also contained Photoshop and Audacity. I also used the school's Apple MacBook Air to access Premiere Elements, meaning I had a range of computers in which to use during my construction. The computers had a very stable internet connection with Internet Explorer, which is hugely important seeing as our blogs are hosted totally online, and we frequently use the internet to research other real-life texts and conventions. In conclusion, both various software and hardware were vital to the successful completion of my coursework.